Oh, you wanna know who I am? Oh, you wanna know me? Well, I'm the
Hey guys,
man.
Tim Rex is here with the Now or Never podcast, Season 2, Episode 1. We head out from Omaha to Pittsburgh to meet the man himself, Mr. Seth Feroce, with All-American Roughneck and Axis Sledge supplements. It was an awesome trip. What a great guy, and you get to hear part 1 about how Seth became Seth.
You are you, and I am me. Just be.
Welcome to the Now or Never podcast, all things business, entrepreneurship. People who are just taking life and kicking it square in the ass. Special guest, Seth Feroce. This is actually Season 2, Episode 1 for us.
Oh, nice.
So we're mobile. We're in Pittsburgh. Where they call it the
Sunshine State.
the Cancun of the East, and that steward has lied. So we're here, and it's been raining, but it's cool. This is what a great way. I mean, your brand, Axis Sledge, in our shops has done so phenomenally well, and so when this opportunity came up, I'm like, oh, I'm heading out. So we're super jacked to be out here.
Thank you.
We were talking before the camera started rolling, and we were talking about how our parents would make us work and all those kind of things. And it's funny. So Chad, my videographer behind the camera, right? That's his mom back there, Sue. And so she's the first original OG gangster that I ever knew. So my parents, you know, like when we grow up, your parents pawn you off other people's kids, whatever, because they got stuff going on. So my parents, you'd be like, you know, I'd hang out with Chad when we were kids, and they're like, they'd have Sue take me in because I was obnoxious, and they get rid of me for the weekend. And so Sue would pile me and Chad up with these crates of baseball cards, and we pop around to Holiday Inns in the Midwest, and she would have baseball card shows, slugging baseball cards for a couple bucks, just trying to make sure we didn't break shit. So the first entrepreneur I ever knew is actually sitting in this house right here.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's awesome. And
True hustlers.
true,
Way better than drugs.
Oh, way better. Hey, that's okay. We all did. You know, the statute of limitations is over. So tell us, I mean, give us the Seth Feroce story. Like, how'd you get... You got into sports, you're a kid, you're running, bodybuilding, how did it all come about?
So we were just talking about my dad. My dad is a small business owner. He owned a cabinet company, whole life. He took over his father's business. It wasn't going so well. He stepped in, took over when he was 19 years old. Mm-hmm. He's 62 now, so he's owned it for 42 years. So he is the epitome of the HWMF, the thing that we promote, the hardworking motherfucker. That is where I learned everything. But the way, so that hardworking mentality came from my household. But I grew up, great household, just knew how to work. It's pretty much all. My mom was the loving woman, and my dad was the hardest worker in the room. Yeah. So I had this great compassion and very intense. Yeah. But growing up, we like to eat. Whole family eats. We're all short. We're all stocky. We're built for work. Yeah. I got fat, though, and I didn't like it. Yeah. So when I was like 12 years old, I was hanging out with a group of kids in the neighborhood, older kids, and we all had nicknames, and my nickname was Chubbs. I was Chubbers. And I started going through puberty, and I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm like, I don't like girls calling me Chubbs. No. I don't like this shit. I was like, it's time to be over. I was like, nope, got to get in shape, and I want to look good. I had to feel good about myself, so at that point, that's whenever I was like, I have to change how I look because it doesn't make me feel good inside. Yeah. And that was like my first step of into bodybuilding. Yeah. My sister, she would buy some muscle and fitness here and there because we're all short and stocky, but we all have the stature to be very muscular. Yeah. We all have great genetics, built for work. Yeah. And then she would buy a magazine here and there, and I remember seeing Kevin Levrone on it and all this cool shit. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. Watch Commando and see Arnold carrying the tree, and I'm like, I want to look like this. So I started doing push-ups and sit-ups. I stopped drinking pop, stopped eating fast food, and then I started to look different. Yeah. And then I started getting treated different, and it made me feel better about myself and build my self-confidence. And then just step by step, more and more. I played football in 9th grade. I wrestled in 9th grade, and then I realized how much I loved the gym and just wanted to look good naked. It's like all I wanted to do. I was like, when I take my shirt off, I want to feel really cool. Yeah, yeah. And so that was what put me on the journey, and little by little, I just kept... the passion for bodybuilding continued to grow. Yeah. Went to a gym where there was a lot of local bodybuilders, and then I was like, I want to try this. Yeah. And I just caught the bug, dude, and it kept me out of trouble. It kept me out of trouble for a little bit, but and then from there, high school, and then wanted to become pro bodybuilder. That was dead set on it.
Yeah.
That was it. Went to college, partied a lot, but still wanted to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much told everybody that was my goal in life. I just want to be a pro bodybuilder. So, long story short, whenever I was 24 years old, I just lost my job as a safety consultant for a construction company because it was during 2008, 2009, the recession.
Yeah.
So then I moved back home here to Pittsburgh because we were living in Cleveland. Moved back home and I just dead set on being a pro bodybuilder. So I did my first show in 2009, which was the Northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then I did the Mr. Pittsburgh show. I won those 2 shows. And I met Hani Rambod and I said, I want to turn pro in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. I was like, it's nationals. I want to turn pro there. And sure enough, he got me in really good shape. And I went and turned pro in Florida.
Yeah, that quick.
So in 9 months, I went from being a nobody, just some dude that first show, just some dude that wanted to be a bodybuilder. Up until then, I ate and lived and
you did the dance,
everything, the whole 9.
Yeah.
And then I turned pro in 9 months, 3 shows. And that's whenever everything took off for me.
Yeah.
I was like the young, great white hype. Everybody was like, oh my God, where'd you come from? And I'm like, I'm just Seth from Western PA. I just like lifting weights. Can I do that? And then I
lift heavy shit. And that's
that was it. And I was broke as shit, had no money, and thought if I became a pro bodybuilder, I'd have all kind of money and everything would be great.
And you found out that's not fucking true.
So it was kind of true.
Yeah.
I was young and just flash in the pan guy, so I had a $50,000 contract for muscular development. This was before the internet.
Oh yeah.
So the forums existed, but no social media, no Instagram, a little bit of Facebook, no YouTube.
Maybe a little bit of MySpace, or now it's just coming out.
So it wasn't like a priority. So you were just in magazines and you just got mailbox money. I got $5,000 a month. I got like $4,500 a month from muscular development.
Hell, at that age, I'd have been like, "Oh, we're good."
And then I got $4,500 a month from Muscle Tech. So I had 2 contracts. 2 of them, and I was making like $100,000.
Oh, damn.
25, 26 years old, making $100,000, and I had nothing.
I've been dying for that.
Oh, that's what I mean. I was freaking out. This is great. This is wonderful. My life's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything was cool. And then, I took a year off to get bigger because I wanted to go to the open class.
Yeah.
Or I turned pro, and then I did another show in 2011, and I won that. It was my pro debut. I won that, so I won 4 shows in a row.
Jesus.
I'm the greatest thing in the world.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't happen. So I started believing my own shit.
Eat your own shit?
Yeah, I started believing all of my own bullshit, and then in 2011, I took 2011 off, and then in 2012, I was like, I'm going to go do the open class, and I took a year off to grow, and I got bigger. But I didn't dedicate my life to the way I should have. My home life started having some problems.
Yeah.
And then I went to do the Toronto Pro, and I took 6th place. So I went from winning 4 shows in a row to 6th place. I didn't look, and then everybody said I sucked.
Yep.
So it was the first time I lost at my dream. And I'm like, my life's over. Everything's horrible. Well, nothing's going to go well. And then everybody's like, you need to go do the 212s. Stop trying the open class, go do the 212s. So I listened to them. Went to the 212s, and I completely shit the bed.
Really?
My body gave out. I took way too many drugs. I pushed myself way too far in the gym, over cardio, over diet, over drugged. You name it, I overdid it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, everything's riding on it. So that was in 2012. It was in Sarasota, Florida. It was in August, end of August. Well, I took 7th place, and my body gave out.
Yeah.
Next day, my kidneys were a mess. I was in the hospital again. It was not pretty. It really sucked. Lost my $150,000 contract. Ugh. So all in the snap of a fingers, I went from
golden boy to
nothing.
Oh, shit.
And my home life was a nightmare at home.
Yeah.
So then I was like, it's time to be done. I have to go get a real job, cut this bullshit out, and go make money for my family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was really upset. Muscle Tech wanted to keep me. They were like, you're great, we love you. We want to keep you. And I'm like, I don't make enough money, and I don't like this shit anymore. Everybody says I suck. Everybody's mean to me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I left. And I went home, tried to fix my home life, got a real job. I did some landscape work. I was doing landscaping, had my company for a year doing that. Then I went back to safety. I was a safety consultant. I was an operations manager for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was in 2014, 2015, 2016. I was doing safety work. But in 2015, but in that, we'll shorten it up. In there is whenever my home life, I tried to fix it, and it couldn't be fixed.
Yeah.
It was a really rough spot. So I was like, I started being unhappy with my life. I was like, my life kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I quit my dream, bodybuilding, to make my home life better, and it's not getting better.
Yeah.
I'm really unhappy. I'm not lifting weights anymore. I miss feeling stiff-dicked and testosteroned out. So I think I need to start lifting weights again.
Yeah.
Get back into my thing and start falling back in love. And I was working in the blue-collar industry as a safety consultant. Met a ton of awesome people.
Yeah.
I just was unhappy with myself and who I was.
Yeah.
And then I, in 2015, I was driving around. I drove like 62,000 miles that year for a consulting firm, everywhere. So I was driving all day, every day, and I said, I miss bodybuilding. I'm going to start lifting weights again. But if I go back into bodybuilding, I was like, I have to own all of my own shit.
Yeah.
I have to, so I'm in control. That way I can only fuck myself over.
Yeah.
The only way for me to screw up is my own self.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I do that? I'm like, I don't really have any money. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm gonna figure a way.
It's not a cheap sport.
No.
It's very expensive.
And I was like, okay, so I had this concept about the All-American Roughneck. Because all these guys I go to, everywhere I go, I meet really good dudes.
Yeah.
Whether it was on an oil and gas site, whether it was in a construction site, whether it was in a manufacturing plant, all I did was met really awesome All-Americans.
Yeah.
They were working those 12, 16-hour days, 6 days a week to feed their family, buy the fucking Jordans for their kids, take them on the nice vacation,
Oh, yeah.
be the All-American Roughneck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't these fucking people cool? Like, these are the greatest people I've met.
They're real.
They're real
Fucking
motherfuckers.
real. Yeah.
I'm like, this is who I am. I was like, I am these people. And I'm on Instagram because I was like, I want to go back into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, I'm not seeing anybody real. And I'm like,
Oh, they're all fake. It's all full of shit.
yeah. I was like, why is nobody like being themselves? Like, I know, like, I like nice shit too. I like materialistic things.
Yeah.
But I really like my kids smiling at me and going to Disneyland and doing all kind of cool shit. And then it all started to dawn on me about like what's happening in society. And I was like, if I come back, All-American Roughneck. So I Googled All-American Roughneck and nothing came up. I'm like, that's not possible. I don't have anything. This name has to be taken. So I started allamericanroughneck.com. I'm like, that's available. I started looking around. I'm like, I think I have an idea. I was like, I have an idea.
Oh, yeah.
This is awesome. This is the coolest feeling in the world. I got an idea. And so that's great. You have an idea, but it has to come to life.
Exactly.
What is your idea and what does it mean? A t-shirt company. Oh, you sell t-shirts. No, I sell a feeling.
Yeah.
I sell a brand to people that have been all over the world. They just didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
They didn't have a name. All the people on the job sites, everybody that I met, they just didn't have a name.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gave them a name. I didn't have a name. I'd always search for a hat to wear somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what is it? So that was where the All-American Roughneck came from. And that Bob, you met Bob, the guy I walked in with. I went to him in 2015 on my birthday, November 21st. My home life, again, it wasn't very good, and I was searching for something. I left on my birthday to go to Philadelphia, because that's where he lived. I go to him, and I'm like, hey, I got this idea. And he's like, oh, okay. So I told him everything, and he's like, oh, okay. You think that's, all right. I was like, I got this idea for a logo. I showed him the logo, and he's like, uh-huh. So what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to have this whole thing laid out about being the All-American Roughneck, told him a story for the video, how we're going to do t-shirts and what it's going to look like, the logo with the A in the 1911 in the shape of a lowercase R. And he's like, I don't like that logo. I'm like, it's going to work. I just need you to make it on the computer and put it on a t-shirt, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, next thing, I can't give you any money. I don't have any. He's like, what do you mean you don't have any money? I'm like, I got like $2,200. I can put t-shirts. I can make t-shirts.
Yeah.
So we're going to get t-shirts printed and then we're going to sell them.
Yep.
And he's like, but you can't give me any money. And I'm like, nope. I was like, but I'll tell you this. How about if this works, I'll give you 50% of everything I ever own. He's like, that's a lot. I'm like, I can't do any computer stuff. I don't know how to make a design on a computer. I don't know how to build a website.
Yeah.
I have no clue about anything. All I know is this is a good idea.
and I'm kind of famous. If I come back, people are going to want to see me again.
Yeah.
Because I just disappeared in bodybuilding.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
In 2013, I just fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
So nobody's seen me in like 2.5 years. So he and I agreed. We shook on it. And then we agreed that if this ever works and this ever happens, 50-50 on ever across the board. Shook hands, and then we went to work. And then in 2016, January 20th of 2016, we launched All American Roughneck. I came back onto the scene. Blackstone Labs was behind me. I talked to PJ. PJ and Aaron, they were together at that time because they always said in 2013, that's when they started Blackstone Labs. And they're like, if you ever come back in the industry, give us a call.
Yeah.
I was like, sure. So I came back, gave them a call, and they said, yeah, we'll give you some money. You sponsor our company, and it'd be great. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So we came out, did this thing, and it was a huge flash. Everybody's like, holy fuck, dude. I was big beard.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, what is this? This is a joke? Is this a joke? You were like the clean-cut white kid.
Yeah.
This is a joke. And I'm like, no, this is actually who I am. And I was always relatively, clean with how I had said things. I wasn't this foul-mouthed person.
Yeah.
I wasn't as intense because I was kind of always I wanted to fit in when I was at Muscle Tech.
PR.
Yeah.
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 Corporate PR bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I was like, nope, I'm going to be me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to listen to nobody. I'm going to do it my way. Fuck it. If it falls belly up, at least I was myself.
And that's the way it should be. I mean, that's one of the questions that we came online. I think we live in a society where most people are fake.
Yeah.
And they were like, why? Like, we've grown so well, so much, and so fast. When else has failed? I'm like, because I don't give a shit. It's me. I have 6 kids. I'm 39. I told you everybody thinks my wife is my daughter. Sucks.
I do.
So, I mean,
it's weird.
You know, I got kids spanning 20 years, but it's just me. This is any amount of messages I get in when people are like, you guys are just real, you don't show off flashy shit. I like materialistic stuff too.
I like nice house.
But I have 6 kids and 3 dogs. So I bought my couches from Menards on 11% mail-in rebate because I don't give a shit. It was a bargain. They're going to destroy the shit anday.
It's going to break.
It's going to break. So, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. The impact I leave on people around me, that's more important than anything. And I think that's what you portrayed more than anything. You said impact the people around them in their life.
That was my goal.
Yeah.
I wanted to make money, and of course I want to make money, and I want to be famous, and I want to have cool shit and do all this stuff. But here's the thing. All those people that have those things that I see, I don't want to hang out with them.
No.
I don't want to. So that's whenever I was like, okay, my dad's pretty well off. He never handed me shit. He has always done really well, but he never gave me, he just created an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was like, my truck's nicer than his. He has way more money than me. Still has way more money than me.
Yeah.
And his truck still isn't as nice as mine.
Yeah.
So the thing was, it's like he just wanted to make sure that everybody's taken care of. And he's like, it's not important. He's like, I want to make sure people feel me. And that's where I got to saying, I like people feeling me. I want people to understand that there's so much to life, whether you're the CEO or the janitor. You have value in life.
Exactly.
You are important. You are special. Just don't sell yourself short.
No.
Whatever you do, don't sell yourself short. So, and that's pretty much what we preach with AAR. Like, and like I was saying, like, I want nice shit. I want to have all these nice things, but if they don't change how you feel or treat people, then what's the use of having them?
Well, that's just it. I think that people, I mean, I always tell our kids and everyone else that works for me, and then we have 150 employees between all the companies we have. We own 3 companies.
Oh my God.
We have 3 companies, and we're spread across 10 states, and it's fun. That's a bitch. She has to do all the hours. So, but I just want the same thing. Like, given everything you do at 150% will change your mindset and your perception of what you're doing.
Yes.
I said, just don't go into a job, think it's beneath you, and then it changes your mind. Then you're a habitual complainer, but you're not going to accomplish shit with it. I mean, if you don't like, learn the job, love the job, own the job. I literally just sold the second store we ever started in 2011 in my hometown to my manager for cost. I made 0 fucking profit selling this thing a month ago. And the banker said I was nuts. They all said I was nuts. My wife and my business partner were 100% behind me. And they go, why? I go, because that kid's been there for 4 years. I've known him. He built it. They can love me all they want. My social can be as huge as they want it to be. But if he's an asshole, I'm dead. At the end of the day, he represents me and my family. He does such a good job. He deserves to make the money, make his passion, his paycheck, and put it on the line. So I sold him for assets and let him do it. Now, I'm losing money right now, but for the next 25, 30 years, and his family and everyone sees that, they're going to keep pumping in the system. And that's put my money where my mouth is. I did the corporate shit. I did the corporate jobs. I did the big chat.
It's a big deal.
It was, and it is. And we're doing it with 2 of our other locations, Sioux City, Iowa, and Kearney. I'm selling to my managers the same exact deal because it's out of town. I'm not there. I don't want to drive there, and like at all. I mean, it's like, and it's one of those things that it's fucking Nebraska. Kearney's 3.5 hours their way. It's a kind of drive.
But it's changing.
It is, and the thing is that this guy, the kid Brandon, who's running it, wants to buy it. He's a great kid. He's worked for me for 2 years. Done the job. He's the name. He's the face. He's doing the work. He deserves to make the fucking check. That's how it should be. I just told him, like, you give me 150%, I will pay it back. And now they're all figuring out how. And so, with our companies, we own 2 gyms too. And I competed a couple years ago. I don't look like it now. Childbirth killed me. Anyways,
I'm right there. I gained 15 pounds. I gained more weight
than she did.
Gained way more weight than she did.
She lost it. I didn't. I gained 7 more. Anyway, so we went out into Los Angeles and trained the day after my show and saw this gym. It was really fucking cool and warehouse style gym, real music, real weights. And my business partner, my manager, the kid was working for me at the time, Nick. And my wife, we should do a gym. So 7 cocktail napkins later between LAX and Omaha, I had a business plan. And 6 months after, we opened the first gym. They opened a second gym, the triple size of the first gym. That's all in 2 years. And I made Nick my business partner. I'm like, no. Money on the table, let's go. You're going to do this, do it. And he's been a phenomenal business partner that we are truly blessed to have. But I took an employee, made him an owner, and we started our OPP protein popcorn company, which is going insane. I'll get you some bags.
Please.
Well, we have 6 kids. Trying to find protein snacks for kids, fucking nice.
Doesn't work.
600 batches in our kitchen. You wouldn't know it's healthy if I didn't tell you. And now Amazon's distributing the entire national. We've gone international with it. It's huge. It's OPP protein pop. And so Cody Guffey's our manager, one of my shops. He's like, I want to buy into something. I go, you're buying into that. For next to nothing. I go, just give me a check for this much. And he goes, that's it? I go, yeah. Because owners give way more of a fuck than employees ever will. And that's the way it should be.
So, and that's exactly how, everybody told me I was crazy with everything, like with Bob.
Well, to get 50% off, I mean, right from the get.
50%. I'm like, it's 50%. Like, people are like, you're nuts. I'm like, listen, there wouldn't be anything without Bob.
Well, that's just it.
There'd be no computer. I'd just sit here with my thumb up my ass saying, I got this idea. Telling everybody about my idea, and everybody's like, cool idea, bro. And I'm like, the iron is very hot. Nobody owns All-American Roughneck. I was like, it doesn't exist. So that's whenever he taught me how to buy everything, because he worked for a company that he was unhappy at himself, and he was doing everything. Everything I needed him to do, he already knew how to do, because he was doing it for a company, and he was, in my opinion, he was getting shit on. In his opinion, he was getting shit on, but that's neither here nor there. But I was like, the only way this guy's ever going to do work for free is if there is an end result.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool. So we did that. And we didn't really make money for a while. We were just, so the perks were coming. When we needed like $1,000 or $2,000, let's take some. And then excuse me, it was all t-shirts. It was just, all we were doing was just flipping, supply and demand. How was it going? And that's how All-American Roughneck became a limited release company. Because all we could do is just take 20 grand and be like, let's go buy a bunch of t-shirts. We're gonna buy t-shirts and hats and sweatshirts.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna take 20 grand and dump it all in there, and then whenever we would get back the return, we'd be like, okay, well, we gotta pay this bill, this is way overdue. Oh, yeah. So we'd pay anything, and then we'd have a little bit of money left over, and I'm like, Bob, how much money you need? He's like, I could really use $2,500. And then that $2,500 would last him 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because he had to, and his wife was busting her ass at the time.
Yeah.
And she was a full-time nurse and going full-time nurse practitioner school. So I mean, it was just a whirlwind, and we're like, this is gonna work. It's working right now. We just gotta keep going. And that's how we have our biggest release coming is next week, and it's we're a limited release company simply because we never had the funds to become anything else. So now we do these giant releases and it works out. And we're like, we're not changing.
Well, no, use it.
We like it that way, and it gets people excited.
You also built this whole shit on belief.
Oh yeah.
That's what our podcast is about. It's about. I mean, the thing was, I never knew how to do this shit. And so I learned hard knocks. I okay, well, I fucked that up. My first website was made by me, drag and drop off, GoDaddy.com. I don't fucking do it. I couldn't afford to hire anybody.
No.
I sold everything I owned just to stock my first store. I cut my salary by 81% in 2010. I lost my house in the 2008-9 housing crash.
Oh, yeah, nice.
A full-blown bankruptcy. I'm like, if I'm going to be broke, I might as well be happy and broke and put some fucking supplements. And so I did one shop, and here we are 27 locations later in 10 states and 3 companies. But, it's just, and I'm thinking of my wife, who's much smarter than I am. She's like, okay, we actually needed to keep track of your accounting. I'm like, didn't need to 10 years ago. She says, well, you do now, because there's the IRS. I'm like, okay, but belief. And that's what I tell everybody else. Everyone thinks it's a sprint, it's a marathon. You've got to be on the grind.
It really is, and I learned all this, All-American Roughneck. I was good enough to
I was good enough to get myself into trouble, and then I was good enough to fight my way out.
Yeah.
So then whenever we met Pat and Mike to start Axe and Sledge, because I was working with different companies, I left Blackstone, I went to Primeval Labs, and then I was realizing that I was doing very well for these companies, and I've always wanted to do my own thing. I mean, what bodybuilder didn't want to own his own supplement company?
Shit.
And I was like, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was like, I can barely do inventory well for All American Roughneck.
Yeah.
I need to learn inventory control. So then a mutual friend of Pat and Mike, they were in business together, and Bob and I were in business. And I was like, we ended up meeting through a mutual friend, and I gave them such a hard time about me being a hard-nosed businessman, and they just let me think I was really important and smart and special. But we had this understanding that they've never had a Seth Feroce that's just the honest, blunt, like no bullshit. Like I'm the same guy here, I'll be the same guy at home, I'll be the same guy everywhere I go. I'm foul-mouthed, I'm intense, and I love my people. Like my statement that I tell everybody is, don't fuck with my family, don't fuck with my money, and don't fuck with my businesses.
Yeah.
You leave those 3 things alone, we're best friends.
Yeah.
You start toying with them, I have a problem. And then I get all excited and overwhelmed and all that, and I don't like it. So that was the speech I gave them, and they're like, so you just want to do what you're good at. I'm like, that's it, dude.
That's the way it should be.
Bob does everything on the computer really well. You make Bob mad, you did something, because he's the calmest, highest dude in the world.
Yeah.
he is always stoned. Bob he just smokes a ton of weed, takes no prescription medicine, hates it, crazy anxiety, does his thing, but that's Bob. And it's like, he's the most functional, highly operating stoner I've ever met. So he does everything so well. I'm like, just don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. So then they were like, well, Pat's like, this is what I do. And I'm like, great, neither one of us can do that. And Mike's like, this is what I do. And I'm like, this is going to be the greatest relationship in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And then it came to, how do you divvy up who's worth what in the company?
And that's an uncomfortable conversation for anybody to have.
But here's the gig. Company doesn't exist without Seth Feroce. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It can, but it might not do as well.
Yeah.
Well, company doesn't exist without a Bob. And you ain't getting no manufacturing and no inventory without a Pat. Yeah. I'm like, so I guess we're equal partners, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so there was the skin in the game. Everybody, my lawyers, my dad, everybody said I was a moron.
Yep.
They're like, it's the dumbest thing you could do is give people money they didn't earn yet. And I'm like, yeah, but how am I going to get them to do it?
And how do you even earn it?
I don't have enough money to give them. I can't just pay somebody that money. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go off my heart. I'm gonna go off my gut. And if it goes belly up, at least I tried.
So do your grades in high school really matter? Not one fucking ounce.
Nope.
Not 1 ounce. She goes, well, is college really necessary?
Nope.
I go, what are you gonna go do? Well, business. Oh, 100% waste your time. And the lady goes, what? And so their videos got posted me saying this. My alma mater uninvited me from speaking.
Nice.
And then the 2 more prestigious schools in Omaha invited me to come speak because their parents were paying the bills, so the kids were going to go anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, take your side hustle and turn it. If you can't make money right now in today's America, then you're full of shit. Today, right now, in today's society with this, which is fucking free, gives you 24/7 access, and you can't make money right now, you're full of shit.
I am a moron. I am not a smart person. I'm just unwilling to say I give up.
Yeah.
I'll never say I can't. I'll figure out a way, and that's why it works, because everybody's the same way here.
Yeah.
Like Zach.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, like Zach is the same way.
Well, no, and that's, I think we, like I told her, she's, and like, I'll have my moments. I'm a very passionate person. You were talking about the company, like, okay, our motto is we're professionally unprofessional. If you're expecting with the bigger company coming to our corporate offices for me to have a suit and tie, it's not gonna fucking happen. If I'm in a suit or tie, it's either I have to go to a wedding or a funeral, and that's it. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. Or court. Even then in court, I wear a polo. This is much. If I'm wearing a collar, okay, that's professional. But, then Chad put his office inside, too. And when he first started working for us, he's in the meeting. We're out in Vegas. It's the Olympia. We're doing video for launch. And he's like, when I go, you going to have a drink? He's like, well, no, I'm like, no, we drink here. We do that.
It's Vegas.
This is as professional as we get. Like, this is, you're expecting more, I'm going to disappoint the shit out of you. And so if all these people come in and ask questions and want me to help look over the business plans, tell them where they're missing wrong, I'm like, I'll help you out, but I'm not going to be nice about it. And I'm going to be real, and I can't tell you all the answers. I go, I didn't come from money. There's no trust fund. I play bank account Jenga all the time like everyone else does. And all my partners we brought in, did I need the partners? Not necessarily, no. I didn't, not financially, but I did need somebody who gave as much a fuck as I did. That's where partners are good.
Yes, and like you said, it's they give a fuck. They have skin in the game.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is because nobody ever, no entrepreneur or businessman that I've ever met wants to be capped. No, if you tell them they're capped at this number, they're going to be discouraged and they'll be like, no, don't do that to me.
The sky should be the limit.
Sky's the limit, and that's a real thing, but the sacrifice that it takes to get there is what's really scary. Like, I'll never forget certain things that with my dad, whenever I was young, he did, we had to go unload his kitchens and bathrooms.
Yeah.
Remodels, house remodels, all that, and he's really fucking good at it. But the day after Christmas, he all the workers are off from Christmas to New Year's. That's a week off. Everybody gets paid. It's your week off of the year. Good. That's his thing. That's when that's downtime. Day after Christmas, we had to go in and unload 155 countertops on December 26th. I was 15 at the time, and like he's like, hey, he told me Christmas night. He's like, hey, we got to go in tomorrow. The load that was supposed to show up yesterday showed up tonight. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So tomorrow, he's like, yeah, we got to get there 6:30 tomorrow morning. All right, so we hop in the truck in the morning, day after Christmas. We get there, and he's like, all right, let's start. I'm like, is there anybody else coming? And he's like, no, dude, nobody else is coming. It's you and me today. And I'm like,
ownership day.
This is gonna be all day, Dad. He's like, yeah, that's why we own the company. Yeah. He's like, everybody else has time with their family. He's like, you and I are the ones doing it. I own the company. Shut the fuck up. Do the work. And I'm like,
and that's why my business partner Rexius and I are the same way. We're both farm kids.
Yeah.
So, like, it didn't matter if it was Christmas. Cattle still had to be fed.
Yes.
And you had to haul bales. And it's fucking sub-zero outside. And you just had to go. And so if I had extra sports, I had to go before that.
Yep.
So I feed cattle at 4 a.m., then go to wrestling practice at 6 a.m. to go to school at 8, and then go to wrestling practice after school, then go back to the farm at 6 p.m. That's just how it was. And the old man, my stepdad, God love him, but he goes, let's build character.
Yeah.
And he would actually, like, I love his ass, but such a hard ass. He
could have been a little nicer to me.
He could maybe, like, we had to make a fence. We had to build a fence. Remember this. He has an automatic auger in the back of the. He made me do it by hand.
Yep.
The fucking postal there goes. Build your ass up for football.
Yep.
He bought me a truck without power steering. He built this for me. Are you know how hard it is to drive a truck without fucking power steering? I found out in that '74 Ford F100 that I also wrecked conveniently. But
those are things, and it's right. It did build character.
And we said lead by example.
Yes.
And that's what it is. So it's funny. We're a family-run business. We're a big company now. This more medium-sized, whatever you're gonna call it. But we close for Mother's Day and Father's Day. I get so much shit from my competition, but I go, if I'm going to ask my employees to stay away from their moms and dads if we're a family-run company on Mother's Day and Father's Day, but their work needs to be done. Her and I are the ones down at the gym, opening up the doors, fixing the shit, plunging the toilets. And it was on their podcast, for these dads who lift it, Chad actually produces it, and they're like, and he told a story, he saw me there at 3:30 in the morning, mopping the floor in the gym, and he happened to be working out at that time. He said, what are you doing here? I got to do it when my kids are asleep, and I got to do it before anyone else shows up. Mm-hmm. And they, well, why are you doing it? I'm like, well, nobody else is going to do it if I don't do it first.
Yep.
I should did. I never want to be outworked. My biggest fear is being outworked more than anything. I don't know. I mean, it's me growing up with sports and bodybuilding for me was always my thing. And
it's a real thing.
It is,
and it's tough for people that it's scary. Because I was just talking. I think I said it on the podcast the other day. The thing that scares the shit out of me was me not becoming something great, and I would always procrastinate.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I wouldn't do it. I created an environment for myself that just made me feel okay without doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I had to change who I was to be able to do all of it. Even though I had an upbringing of all this hard work, I just had to push myself to work even harder at every single step of the way. And that's how I became who I am today. Was like, every day I have to make sure that I don't lose sight of it. Because now we have all these different people that want to be part of this and are willing to work, like Zach. Like Pat, Mike, Bob, and myself, we all work incredibly hard. Zach is Pat's son.
Yeah.
Zach will be starting early, and then there'll be times whenever I swing by the warehouse, he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 8:30 at night, and I'm like, motherfucker, you're doing this on purpose to me, aren't you? You're doing this just to rub it in my face. I left 2 days ago, like Jay and Shane. Like right now, we are driving content down their throats.
Yeah.
So much. And then, so
I had to leave to go to my daughter's art show for kindergarten.
Yeah.
So we go to the art show for 6, and then I'm done by like 6:45, and my other daughter's doing gymnastics.
Yeah.
So I had to come back and pick her up. And I was like, oh, I'll just go break boxes down in the gym. We got so many boxes left to get broken down. We just put new lights up. So I was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to break all the boxes down. I pull in. Fucking Jay's still here. It's 8:45, getting ready to pick my daughter up to leave. Fucking Jay's still in there. And I'm like, oh, this is a great feeling because everybody's hustling, but I'm like, they're working harder than me right now.
Oh, and then that's in it. It's funny.
It's a phenomenal feeling
Yeah.
because they're so invested into what we're doing because they see the growth and they see what everyone here is doing and building together.
Yeah.
It legitimately is incredible. Because I like to always say I'm the hardest worker here.
Yeah.
And I do run myself into the ground. I will work 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody else is doing a lot of the same. And it makes me, and that's why I think, that's why, like, those 3 things I said,
Yeah.
like, 3 things not to fuck with, like, those are my people now.
Yeah.
They'll go to the edge for me, and I'll do the same for them. So it's wild.
Well, I mean, you didn't touch on this too. Like, I mean, I also think like my drive as my kids get older. I know your kids are getting older now too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that changes your drive.
Oh, yeah.
Because now like at 12 years old, like they're watching you, they're emulating your shit.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
It's no longer like when they're 4, 5, or 6. You can like they're still a kid. You know, like I remember all that shit when I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, some, but now I know my kids are 14 and 20-year-old and 12-year-old, and they're literally watching, and I'm like, they catch me slacking. I don't want to see them slacking when they're 20-something and be like because they watch me do it. You know, but it makes me work even harder because I still want to be a kick-ass dad and be involved. So sometimes I work late, and sometimes I work early. It just is what it is. I mean, how do you think it's affected you?
Oh, yeah, there's a give and a take.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter, I think I'm going to be the coolest thing to her ever.
Yeah.
But it might break for a few years. But my 12-year-old Adeline is... she just knows that I work a lot.
Yeah.
And she's seen me because whenever Emmy is 5, she'll be 6 soon, but Adeline is the one that her and I went through everything together with her mom that fell apart.
Yeah.
When everything fell apart, I was a single dad. Like, her mom's not in the picture anymore. So it was just her and I for 2 years. Like, it was just her and I.
Yeah.
And I was always telling her, like, I'm going to work because we lived in an 850 square foot home.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have a lot. I spent a ton of money trying to help her mom, all these things. And I was like, we're going to get out of here and I'm going to keep hustling. All I'm going to do is just work. Everything's going to work.
Yeah.
And then when I'd tell her is, all you have to do in life is work hard. And then whenever, like, everything started clicking, the businesses, the buying a new home, she saw it all happen.
Yeah.
And now she sits in a completely different position. She's like, she has her own room. She doesn't share a room with her sister. She has her own room. She has her own stuff. And any time that we ask her to do anything around the house, yep, she has no problem doing it. She gives us a little shit about little stupid things, but she knows how important, like, what we did is. And every now and then I just have to kind of remind her about it. And I'm like, we have it very good. Other people don't have these opportunities.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is work. And I'm very hard on my kids. I'm still loving dad.
Yeah.
But whenever any shit comes up about anything, I'm like, Adeline, you just have to shut the fuck up and do it. Do the work.
Yeah.
You do the work, you're going to succeed. So in gymnastics, crazy hard sport.
Yeah.
Stupid hard. So whenever she starts saying anything, it's kind of like, Adeline, no. Just do the work. Cut the shit, dude.
Yeah.
Do the work. Homework. My kid never has homework. She comes home, she never does homework. And I'm like, where's the homework at? I'm like, you don't have homework. And she's like, I do it at school. And I'm like, all of it. Like, you don't have projects? She's like, oh, I do it at school. I'm like, how do you do it at school? How do you do a project at school? She's like, they give us time. And I'm like, I was like,
I got too busy screwing around as a kid.
Well,
Probably
that's my question. I was like, Adeline, I was like, you don't talk to your friends? Like, do you have friends in school? Like, she's like, yeah, they're stupid. They talk the whole time. She's like, I don't want to be bored. I'm like, you don't want to be bored? Like, okay, I mean, good job. Like, you're smart.
Yeah.
And her thing is she just doesn't like to be bored, and she likes to do the work. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe everything I've said this whole time was a good idea.
Yeah.
It's working. This is phenomenal. I'm a good parent. Yes, good job,
So
Seth.
no, that's the funny thing. I was telling the other day with somebody else in this conversation, like, I'm going to be 39. And I started looking back. I'm like, okay. And looking at what age? my parents were that age. I'm like, oh fuck, they didn't know what they were doing either.
No.
And maybe God, maybe it's such a liberating feeling that you guys didn't know what you were doing. You were just making shit up, and it stuck. I'm like, sweet God, I'm not a complete failure because I figured that by 40, I'm gonna be 40 this year. I was gonna be a grown up, and I'm not.
No.
This is as mature as I'm gonna
I
get.
still think boners and farts are funny.
Funnier than shit, and I, and we make jokes in church, and I'm like, God, we're those people.
Moral of the story is, you are you, and I am me.
Be sure to check out next week when we go into the second part of the Seth Feroce episode of the Now or Never podcast to air next Wednesday.
Room and everybody stare, Godfather like presence, everybody know I'm here. Stepping right into my office, pouring bourbon on the rocks. Toast to the homies that could never see the light, and the haters that forever see my ghost. What a night, man.